Right, I think I've gone live after choosing all the options on YouTube that then asked me to put all the options in again. Picture's not very clear though, is it? Not at all. Right, so I hope you are having a good weekend, or at least you've had a good Saturday so far. We'll see how many people are around. A couple of people have said to me that they're busy, and one person's on holiday, but they said, oh, I hope it goes well. I feel like I might be getting a bit of a hi, Kathleen. Hi, Richard. How are you both? I feel like I might be getting a bit of a cold, but I think it was because, hi, Miranda, I had too much halloumi, and that's made me feel like a little bit like I'm going to get a cold. What have you all been up to? Being a Saturday, I didn't get up early, thankfully. Hi, Susan. How are you? But I had to go up the city because it's my sister and brother-in-law's wedding anniversary next week, and I wanted to choose a present and a card. Yeah, I'm well, thank you, Richard. Hi, Emma. How are you? And it's been very, very rainy here. And then we went all the way into the city, only to find the place that I wanted to get something for her was actually closed. And then this afternoon, my daughter had her Italian lesson, which she's not had for ages. Oh, hi, Sharon. How are you? Hi, Carrie. Oh, that's okay, Sharon. Oh, thanks for coming on just to say hello. Yeah, my Saturday is going well, thank you, Richard. Been quite relaxing today, which is nice, rather than sort of rushing about and doing too many things. Hi, Brett. Hello, Alison. How are you? How's everyone's weekends going? What have you all got up to today? Yeah, so she had her Italian lesson this afternoon, but she's not had one since June. I can't believe where the time goes. June was the last time. And then tomorrow, I'm hoping to do some more sorting. So I still managed, when I got back from the Italian lesson, I managed to do some more sorting out. I made the mistake of going into the bedroom, which has got all the stuff that's stored for the sale. Oh dear. I did look at it and think, actually, I think it'd actually be better for some of this stuff to be given to the charity shop, because otherwise there's a danger of in springtime I'll start looking at things and wanting to keep things. Miranda says, oh no, we had a beautiful autumnal Sunday this afternoon after the rain had cleared. Yeah, it's been like constant drizzle today for us. It rained nearly the whole day. Although it wasn't cold, it was quite bright. There was a couple of sort of bursts of sunshine. Oh, thanks, Richard. Richard's been following my journey for a long, long time. And what have you been studying, Emma? I remember those days. I just did my master's while I was full-time work. Crazy. Susan, I just watched the last video. You spoke about your sister's long-term pen pal. I just wanted to ask if she ever met the man. No, she never met any of the pen pals. But it's quite nice. So she kept in touch with the man, who's like a couple of years difference in age. I can't remember whether he's a couple of years younger or a couple of years older. And they're still in touch. And he got married and had children. And I think they connected with each other on Facebook, which was nice. Oh, so Sharon says she emptied her laundry chest. She's got no dirty washing. It's all dry. Oh, very good. You managing to get it outside? Oh, dear. I did look at the weather a couple of days ago and I thought, oh, I could put my washing on the line today. And then literally 45 minutes later, it was raining again. Brett's just made a pot of tea. Is that like what I call traditional English type of tea, like black tea? Or is that something else? Richard, have you had a good day? What have you been up to today? So Kathleen said about mentioning your comment. Oh, do you know, Kathleen, I even mentioned this to the Italian teacher, because we were talking about books that would be suitable for my daughter, and because she is quite good at reading, but it's got to be books that I like, as you've all heard about. And so I said to her, I was thinking about getting the first book of Anne of Green Gables. And she said, oh, yes, or Little House on the Prairie. So thank you, Kathleen, for bringing this subject up, because I was going to look on Amazon or eBay, or actually see if the library has got a copy of the first one. I think she'll like that. All right, yes. So Kathleen said, it's got me excited about reading her diaries again. Do you have an email address? If so, I can send you photos when I visited her house. Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, I was thinking about setting up an email address saying like Emma getting tidier at Yahoo or something. So let me think, Kathleen, how I'll do that. Yeah, I like the fact that you said to me about the diaries. So that might be something that I could get my sister. I wonder whether my sister would like one of those for Christmas. So Emma's been doing database management. Oh, wow. On a Saturday, Emma. That's good. I've got to do a first aid course fairly soon, and that's going to be on a Saturday. And the bad thing is, if I'd have done an e-learning, no, it's not first aid. What was it? Oh, safeguarding. But if I'd have done the e-learning top up, that wouldn't have expired, and then I could have wouldn't have had to do the Saturday course. But I tried to find the e-learning and couldn't find the e-learning, so now I've got to do a full day safeguarding. So Richard said, yes, his day's good and he's been chilling all day. Well, that sounds like nice and relaxing. Good. So thank you to those of you that responded to my last video where I said about what charity should we give any money that I raise to my charity for the next month. I haven't decided which month to do, but it's a choice of either the charity which supports people like who are in sort of financial difficulty or hardship, or have got just sort of like general problems because I'm on low income. So it could be through Food Bank. They've supported like women and men who've gone back into studying and need help with like childcare, that sort of thing. And like some people have then gone on to like getting a nursing qualification that they can then support their family. And I really like what they do with the Food Bank because because of how some people feel. They charge like £5, but give them like 2 massive great bags of food. So they feel like they are paying something, but they're getting like a lot of it for free as well. Or the other charity was a small cancer charity, which is based in Norfolk. They struggle with getting funding and they do a lot of really good work. So obviously they're both very, very deserving charities. And most people have said yes, they think both of them, should be supported. But most people have leaned towards the one where people are like struggling, that provide like food. They also help with like mums and dads that don't have like enough money for, say, I don't know, like part of the school uniform and that sort of thing. So they're a charity that people can approach and just sort of ask for a particular thing, or like particular books. If their child's like going to university, they help people in hardship, basically. Little House on the Prairie is the best. Or do you think, Michelle? I'll have to look that up as well. I've never read that. I've never read that book, and I never read the Anne of Green Gables series. It was my sister that had Anne of Green Gables. Sharon said, my oldest son went into work yesterday. He works at a doctor's surgery, and a pink waistcoat and tie for Breast Cancer Awareness Day. He wouldn't send me the pictures. Oh, Sharon, you need to keep working on him. Good on him, though, to go into work. Just joining in, because obviously that was organised, wasn't it, through work. My work did a similar thing, but I very rarely go into the office, as you know. And then the person who organised it, we had someone's leaving due, that they were retiring. So we went and had dinner all at lunchtime. And the person who actually organised it, when these men started arriving with like pink T-shirts and pink jumpers, I said, oh, lovely pink T-shirt, lovely pink jumper. And the person who organised it went, oh, I forgot to wear pink. It was so funny because that was a woman who'd organised it. And then all these men start arriving in pink. It was really funny. So any sort of views on the charity, please let me know. And today I donated the money from August and September to Natasha's Allergy Research Foundation. So I got the receipt through for that. So I'm going to put that on my next video, so you can see confirmation that I sent the money through today, the 19th. So thank you for those of you that kept watching loads of my videos and liking, commenting, even when people just say thank you, or some people put like a bunch of flowers or a little heart every time you comment. That affects the algorithms. Yeah, so I spent a bit of time this afternoon. I went into honestly, the bedroom has become a real dumping ground. So it's a bedroom that's got suitcases, it's got loads of stuff on the floor for the sale. And what I decided to do is take all my summer clothes from my bedroom and move them downstairs into that room. But once I'd gone in there, I was like, oh dear, I need to get out of here and shut the door again. And I also did some sorting in my daughter's room. So remember, I took the little theatre that I'm going to get rid of and moved the theatre into her room because she wanted to have one more go at it. I was like, that's got to go, because as soon as that was in there, taking up floor space, that's the room started getting untidy again. So I got that out. I've brought that downstairs. I'm going to take some photographs and put that on. So we'll get rid of that. And then, do you remember me talking about one of the violins that I've got, which is like a really, really tiny violin? I'm going to get rid of that as well. I'm going to sell that. So anyone up to anything good tomorrow? What's happening tomorrow? So tomorrow I'm going to do some more stuff in the house, and part of next week I'm going to be in London. So I'm thinking about what I might go and do and visit in London. I've been to London so many times, and yet there's so much that I haven't seen. So much I haven't seen. So Kathleen says, yes, are you on Instagram? Yes, I'm just trying to think what my name is on Instagram. I'll have to have a look up and then send it to you. But I don't mind Kathleen sending you my email address. Thank you. That'd be super. If you don't mind, and you could send me that, that'd be lovely. I'd be really interested to see those photographs. Oh, I do love the fact that the Sharon's son went in with wearing pink. You've got to get hold of those photographs. And then depending upon how old he is, Sharon, there'd be great photographs for birthday pictures, you know. Is he 18? So his 18th birthday, 21st birthday, 30th birthday, the photos could keep coming out. Brett saying, wow, you're getting a couple of more items out of the house, especially before the holidays. Yeah, I do want to do that. And I read somewhere, I think it was my mum said to me about this, that parents that families that don't have so much money, they all go into charity shops beforehand, or a lot of people go into charity shops beforehand to see if there are any things that they can buy. And just before Christmas, there's hardly anything. But after Christmas, the charity shops are full. So this, like, basically this sort of this thing was saying, this sort of meme was saying, if you clear your stuff out and put it, get rid of it before Christmas, because then someone could potentially buy it for their child before Christmas. So I want to get rid of a lot more. I've still got that rocking horse that's sitting between the landing and my daughter's playroom, basically taking up a lot of space, but that's still sitting there. So has anyone else been up to tidying, sorting, decluttering? I'm really intrigued as to whether you've already sorted your house and your house is all tidy, or whether you follow my journey because you're also trying to get tidier. I think it's a bit of a mix. I think some of you have kind of gone through what I'm doing. I just can't believe the amount of stuff that I've accumulated, really. And when I first started this channel, as you all know, I didn't really think that I had that much stuff. But then I realised over time how I've kind of just filled it. I've just filled the house with different bits and pieces. And I was looking at as I look up now, I'm sitting in my lounge where my cabinet is and my shelves, which are very full. And I was looking and thinking there were a couple of things up there that I bought in the last 5 years. And I was thinking, why did I buy them? There's like a little vase that I bought from an antique shop in Germany, I think. I think it was Germany. And I looked and think, yes, really nice, but why did I actually buy that? So I'm not going to be buying any more ornaments for a very long time. So Brett says, be brave. Reclaim that spare room. Honestly, Brett, you wouldn't believe that. And then when my daughter was unwell, my husband slept in that room. And there was stuff all over the bed that I was like sorting through, trying to kind of put away, trying to deal with. And it was really, really late. And so he basically just got everything all went on the floor in order to be able to sleep, which needs must. But yeah, so now there's piles of things on the floor. I've got 3 boxes of stuff for the sale, and then I've got 2 chairs which are covered, and I've got things under the chairs. But I think what I might do is go back in there with a bag and start just picking some things out that I'm not going to want. There's some things that I just want to get rid of now, and I don't want to kind of have that feeling of whether I should get rid of them in the springtime. Okay, so Emma says she declutters every day. Wow. So Emma, is your house tidy? But then you just think about what you can get rid of each day. That's interesting. And Kathleen says, yes, decluttering a lot. You've inspired me to start going through some boxes that are in storage in our basement. We have several bags now for the charity shop. Well done. It's a nice feeling, isn't it, when you start? Oh, hello, Rainey. Rainey Milliman's joined us. How are you? It's a nice feeling when you get stuff ready to get at the charity shop. Still, though, every time I dread it because it's quite funny if anyone saw me because I go in and I'm like so thinking there's going to be a big sign saying, sorry, we are not accepting donations today. And I'm like, when I see that there isn't a sign, I'm so relieved. And then I think someone's going to start going through my stuff and saying, we can't take this, we can't take that, because that is what happened to one of our local charity shops. Happened to me and my sister. They'd only take certain books. And she literally started rummaging through our bags, taking out the books she wanted and leaving the books she didn't. And I said, oh, sorry, if you want to take them, then take them all. But if you can't take them all, I'll give them to somewhere else. Then another charity shop, I had 2 massive great bin bags. And she said, oh, can I just have a look? And I was like, as I was then coming back to the car, she was rooting through the bags, taking out all the children's clothes and leaving everything else. And again, I said, sorry, I just need to get rid of it all. Or if you can't take it all, I'll give it to a different charity shop. So Brett said, I began my decluttering journey and reached a comfortable point, but circumstances have put me in a temporary living situation with little access to my things. Oh, that's tricky. That's really tricky. Because then if you can't get access to your stuff, that's hard. Rainey says, hello, Emma. I almost missed your live chat. We all accumulate things and it does sneak up on all of us. I just need to say, you just need to stay vigilant and not get discouraged. I was quite pleased with myself because a couple of years ago I got some like chopping boards with like little sort of like a cheese sort of platter with little knives, and I got them reduced after Christmas. And then what I did was I put them in storage, and then I got one out the year after and I gave it to the person the next Christmas for a present. And I've still got one. And I must have had it now for 4 years. So I thought, I'm going to give that to the charity shop because I've not at the moment got anyone to give it to. And somebody might buy that for a present because it's brand new, still got the price on. So that might help someone else. So Alison Chamberlain. Hello, Alison. She says, my house is so small with no storage. I keep on top of stuff and declutter regularly. My hubby could be a hoarder. You should see the shed. I can only just get the mower out. Wonder if it's worse than mine. Oh dear. My shed's so full that there's no space for the lawnmower in the shed. So now the lawnmower has been put into the boiler cupboard, which is on the side, close to the outside toilet. And I'm the only person in the house that uses the outside toilets. And I thought to myself the other day how I could do a little video and show you. This is the one where I said that I could put a door on the outside. And those of you in America were talking about that being a mudroom, but that'd be absolutely perfect to then hang all the coats. So I'm thinking about that. Yeah, it's funny because I do think you can have hoarding tendencies and tendencies not to want to get rid of certain things. I always think it's crazy when I'm getting rid of stuff and then someone will say to me, oh, you might use that. Oh, are you sure you want to get rid of that? Often, like with family members, if they see that I'm getting rid of things, they'll start looking at things and saying, "Oh, well, I'm surprised you want to get rid of that," or "Who bought you that?" And then I feel bad about getting rid of stuff. Yeah, so I feel for you there, Alison, with the lawnmower. I cannot get to it. So we bought this shed, and we had a new shed and moved the greenhouse. And I vowed for that was going to be kept tidy. And we've got shelves all on one side for paint. But in reality, we can't get in there. So Emma says, yep, she's tidy, very conscious of what she brings into her home. Post, packaging, recycling. As I bring clothes in, clothes go out. I did decide the other day that a pair of trousers that I had could go in the bin because they've got a big hole in. I decided that actually they're probably past mending and I should get rid of them because I've got quite a few pairs of trousers anyway. Hello, Miranda. So Miranda says you're doing really well. Make it easy on yourself and donate some more to charity. It'll be like making a payment each month on direct debit, but you're donating things for them to sell instead. Yeah. Maybe it's time for a new, bigger shed. That is one option, but the shed that we've bought is like almost new. I'm just trying to think when we got it. I think we've had it about 3 years, 4 years. I can't remember whether it was before COVID or after COVID. But yeah, and sheds are expensive now in the United Kingdom. There's like quite small sheds, like 700, 800 pounds. And that doesn't include actually having someone put it up. You have to put it up yourself. And then I've also got the little room next to the little hot tub area. So as you know, we didn't have the hot tub out this year because we were waiting for it to be tiled, and then that never happened. The person who who was going to do the tiling was so busy with other things, and we just didn't book him in. We got all the tiles. And then there was a fuss as to whether his machine would be able to cut the tiles, and obviously now the weather has turned, so we're not really going to want to use it. But I've got the little room next to there, but that is mostly full of Warhammer figures and a bike. So Brett says, my dad is now in his 70s and having a very hard time letting go of simple things like recyclable plastic containers, bags, and old paperwork. Working with him is very slow and takes a ton of patience. Oh, that's hard. Do you think sometimes there's an element of controlling the situation? And where sometimes if maybe someone doesn't feel completely in control of something, they then control what they can, which is then starting to kind of keep hold of things. I did know somebody, I guess he was probably in his 40s at the time, and I've mentioned it before on my channel, so some of you have heard this before, but he used to save, wait for this, he used to save, the balls that you get in the deodorants, those, the rollable deodorants. He used to break open the plastic container and save those balls. And in his garage, he had like this massive bag full of the deodorant balls. And I can remember someone in my family saying to him, why was he keeping them all? And he said, oh, because there might be use for them in the future. I don't know. I think that's quite hard. I mean, there's definitely stuff I can hear. My mum and dad both keep hold of things, although my mum has been sort of sorting things out and clearing things out and getting stuff out of the loft and passing them to me. My school books and various things that I said that I wanted. But then if my dad then sees them at the door, he'll say, oh, that's really nice. Wouldn't you use that? And when I did my big pantry declutter, I start talking about it and thinking I wish I hadn't got rid of it. No, silly. I've got no use for it. But it was cut glass, sort of like an oval sort of container with little feet on it. I'm not quite sure what you'd use it for, but it belonged, I think, to one of my aunts. And because I had all the things on the floor before I put them all into bags and wrapped them up and taken them to charity. And I said to my mum, did you give me this? Because if she had, I would have thought about keeping it. She said, no, I've never seen it before. She said, oh, but it's lovely. You're not going to get rid of that, are you? My mum might be watching. But she said, yeah, that's really nice. It's a really nicely made one. And I thought, oh no, like I'm now going to end up putting that back in the pantry. But I just didn't have a reason to keep it. I think there's so many things. It's a little bit like some of those Disney glasses and Disney containers and mugs. I keep hold of them, but actually, do I need to? I'm interested in knowing, those of you that are still on this live, what's happening with adverts. Are you getting any adverts in between me speaking? Does it pause and then force you to watch an advert? I'm not sure how that works. So Brett says, I considered control and scarcity issues, but the more we talk, actually I think it's more about he created attachments to things just because they've existed in his house for so long. Oh, that's hard, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, that is hard. Yeah, maybe because they're things that he's like looked at and thought that he just wanted to keep it. But plastic containers is difficult, isn't it? But then, like I was saying the other day, one of my daughter's ornaments was broken and we've glued it up. Really, should I do that or should I just think it's broken, sadly? We need to get rid of it. Excuse me. Kathleen says you just had an advert. Okay, so you've had 2 adverts. Might be a bit too much then. Oh, Brett's had 3 commercials. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. That's a bit too many. And Michelle says, I'm not sure what's harder to overcome, the desire to keep items because of being sentimental about them or being conscientious about waste. I have got good news though about that pink coat. Do you remember that pink coat on my video where I like chatted to the camera? And there was a few people said to me, that's gone for it. Because do you remember I held it up to the light and they said that the stuffing had all gone. And my daughter it's quite small, but my daughter had still been squashing into it. And it got 2 big holes in. Yeah, it was Mika. Hello, Mika. Hello, Paper Playgrounds. I just remembered I was live. Oh, thank you for joining us. Yeah, I know a few of you remember the pink coat, and it did have 2 holes. And I said to my husband, my daughter, she worn this literally like a few days before. I did not see any holes. So I said to my mum, because I'm talking about this because of the waste. I hate the thought about the waste. And when that coat was bought new, that was obviously quite expensive, and she's had quite a lot of wear out of it. But I said to my mum, do you think you'd be able to sew the holes up? And my mum said she'd give it a go. So the day after, she came round and she said, oh, what do you think? And I looked at it and it looked really, really, she'd done it so, so well. Only as I spun it round, there was a hole on the other side. I was like, oh. She went, oh no, I have to get all the sewing machine out again. So she took it back with her. She sewed it up again, brought it back to me. I then put it in the wash, cleaned it all, came up really, really well. And my mum has contacted me to say that she's found a home for it. So that will, even if it's suitable for a child like in the garden, they've still got more wear. So I was really pleased about that. And also, after I'd washed it, I held it up to the light and that had sorted out part of the problem. There were still some areas which were thin, but there were some areas which kind of the padding just sort of went a bit more back to normal. Yeah, so it is. So I am conscious about the waste. With me, though, it's also a bit of an element as I feel bad about getting rid of something. Or I think, if I get rid of that, then something else will happen. I have funny sort of thought processes. Yeah, quite a few of you remember the pink coat. Okay, so Jennifer has had a few adverts. So I think I need to look at that for next time because maybe you've had too many adverts. I'm sorry if you have. That gets a bit tiresome, doesn't it? Particularly if you can't click through them. So Donna says, I follow the ethos of taking out more than I bring in. That really helped me. Then 3 years ago, I lost everything, but a couple of sentimental bits, oh my goodness, in a house fire. It changed my outlook completely. Oh, how awful. How absolutely awful. Goodness me, I should think that did change your outlook. Someone once said to me, when you think about like if there was a fire, like thinking about your routes of escape and what you would do. And I can remember those of you that are in the United Kingdom, or if you're not, Coronation Street. And I was a very, very young child, and there was a house fire at the Rovers Return. And I can remember Bet Lynch, I think, went right down on the floor and crawled along the floor so she didn't get to the smoke. And that really stuck in my mind, thinking about having some sort of plan. But then it also made me think that if you did have to flee your house suddenly, or there was a fire, or what would you actually take? And you're right, Donna, a lot. Actually, there's some things that are really sentimental to you and you would want to keep, and there are other things that just you probably wouldn't even remember that you got. How awful. I'm glad that you weren't you weren't affected by smoke or anything then. You weren't in the house, I hope. Brett said that's great. I love it when things get more life. Waste is super, super hard. I know I waffled on about that story, didn't I? But I was really pleased about it. And as for this violin, so the lady was coming to collect it yesterday morning. And I said, yeah, you can come in it was originally Thursday. And I said, no, sorry, Thursday, I'm not at home. I think I talk about this on one of my videos. But then she said Friday. I said, yeah, Friday's fine as long as it's before 9:50. And that's because at 10 o'clock, I had to be online running a training session. And what I can't do is be downstairs talking to someone, tuning the violin, explaining about the violin, taking the money. Then she leaves, and I've got to run up 2 flights of stairs and then be out of breath when I get on my training course. So I said to her, any time, from 8 o'clock till 9:30. So at 9:30, I came downstairs from work and hovered by the door waiting for her. 9:35, she messages me and says, sorry, I'm late. I'm not going to be there for a while. So I said, oh, what time do you think you're going to be there? She says, 9:55. Now, if that had actually been 9:55, I still wouldn't have been able to chat to her, show her the violin, take the money, say goodbye, and get upstairs. And I think with some of the things that we've talked about on this channel and just kind of putting yourself under pressure, I just thought, I'm not doing that. So I just messaged and said, I'm very sorry, not going to be possible. So she then messaged me and said, okay, I'll go back home and I'm going to look for a violin from somewhere else. I'd already started thinking to myself, do I really want to get rid of this? Do I really want to get rid of this? But then she messaged me and she'd said that she's coming around today. Coming around today at 6 o'clock. Messaged me at 6:05 to say, I'm very sorry, I can't come. So it's not meant to be, is it? Mika. So she says, you often bring up monetary value to your things. It's very important to you. Once the items have served your needs and purpose, it's served its monetary value and the money is already gone. Yeah, I see what you mean about that. I'm trying to think about what sort of things. Things like if it's like with my daughter's violin or the theatre, then what I would do with that is because she's had them for a birthday or Christmas present, I would then sell them and put that money in her bank account. With clothes, here in the United Kingdom, there are certain clothes which sell well. So, for example, Bowden clothes, they've got a retail value. So, as they're hers, they're not mine. They get sold, and then the money gets given to her. So, I don't very often sell my own things, but I do if I've spent a lot of money on a coat for her, I would like it to go to either another person, like with the pink coats, or just get a bit more wear out of it. And I knew in the end with that pink coat, because it had got 2 repairs, they would put that straight in the bin or just give it to rags. And I thought, well, if someone somewhere could actually wear that for a bit longer, it's perfectly fine for a garden coat or a coat for a child to wear at school. Yeah, what other things? Can you think what other things that I brought up, Mika? I think I'm conscious of the fact that of not just wasting things and not wasting money. I don't waste money. I'm sorry to hear that, Donna. Yeah, it's awful. One of my bigger fears. Sorry you went through that. Yeah, Miranda says, Donna, that is absolutely awful. Horrendous. You can't even imagine it, can you? All your possessions gone. Paper Playground said, I was surprised with all the things I saved for my kids and they had saved, but as adults they didn't want. Perhaps you can narrow down to saving just 2 or 3 precious items. Yeah, she saves like a few. She's the one who's very keen on getting rid of some of her toys, particularly if they're going for the sale. But the things that she wants to get rid of are often things I want her to keep. Things that I want her to get rid of are the things that she wants to keep. So she's got this teddy bear. It's not quite a modern looking one, but I know who bought it for her, who sadly they've passed away now. And it says, my first Christmas bear. And she said, oh, this can go to the charity shop. I didn't want her to get rid of that. I really didn't. My mum saved a lot of things. Well, sort of a few items of clothing, and she saved like my Cindy's and Barbies and a few other toys, my little China sets. Although 2 of my little tea sets, my baby doll tea sets, I've just literally found last month. And of course, my daughter's not of the age now. She's really going to play with that, which is such a shame. I wish I'd had them from the shed earlier. But she saved my sister. So my aunt in America sent the christening gown for my sister. And so my sister wore the christening gown, and then I wore the same christening gown, and then my daughter wore that. I think my mum's got that back again because that's kind of really belongs to my sister, but she had 2 boys and she didn't want to put the boys in it. So something like that I would keep. Yeah, so yeah, but I was looking at some clothes today, Paper Playgrounds, and there was this one dress which I'm sure is too small for my daughter, and she said, oh no, I really like that. Brett says, to help myself deal with the thought of waste, I think of what the item costs divided by the uses and what are the realistic future uses. I have to decide when it is silly to keep the item. Yeah, to help myself deal with the thought of waste, I think of what the item costs divided. I think mostly, I do. So I know I do say, like with my coat, there's not waterproof. It's splash proof, but not waterproof. So I am conscious of things are expensive. I don't want to get rid of them if I feel there's more wear. But predominantly, what I really, really hate is things going into landfill. And if you go to, we've got like what we call recycling centres, or they used to be called like the tip or the dump. Bye, Rainey. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, see you next time. And you watch the people throwing these things over, and they just literally, they just get bulldozed. Like so many things that I stand there, like cots, children's cots, people take to the dump. One time I stood there and these massive, great plastic like containers for tomato plants and potatoes people were throwing over. There's so much waste. And think of all the energy that was created or used in order to make those things. Okay, so thank you for joining me, those of you who have joined, and thank you so much for the comments that you've added. Thank you for your ongoing support. If you do have a view on the 2 charities, then please let me know. So either the charity for those people that are like struggling, and those people like for food bank type charity, and then the other charity is a small cancer charity. So both very, very worthwhile. At the moment, people are sort of leaning on the sides of the one for people who are struggling in difficult times leading up to Christmas. But please do let me know what you think, and I'll announce on one of my other videos which one I've chosen. So Paper Playground, bye Kathleen, and Paper Playground said you like the idea of the food bank charity. Oh goodness, yes, Donna, that really makes you think. It's a bit of a lesson there, isn't it? It really makes you think. I'm glad that both of you are okay. Okay, so yeah, let me know in the comments about the charity. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.